This here is my GMWD Pendulum squat, and I'm going to tell you why this might be the best purchase for you in your home gym. Let's check it out. So I have been using this GMWD Pendulum squat for a little while now with myself as well as clients, and I have a good bunch of pros and cons and why you might get a piece of equipment like this versus a leg press or a hack squat or something like that. So I'll get to that in a little bit. But my first overall impressions of using this is that it is a fantastic piece of home equipment. It gets those quads burning very, very well. Now, I have other pieces of equipment that can do a very similar job. I have a Squat Max MD. I have, normal bar to squat with. I can do squat variations in other ways, but I don't have a specific machine that I can get into and just feel safe in while I really hammer my quads. And that is why I got this for myself as well as my clients, as I mentioned. So this piece has a couple different safety features. It has the safety on the bottom here. It's got 4 different spots that you can adjust it from for all your height needs. So as you're getting low, if you get pinned down on the bottom there, you can save yourself and make sure that you're not stuck in the bottom. Getting it up and down is fairly easy, fairly simple with that roller safety. But let's get into the quality a little bit. The quality is a step above that old Titan equipment. If you didn't watch my assembly video, I mentioned that. That's really what I'm going to compare this to, is really some of those 2015 to 2019 or so Titan equipment, where it was starting to scale up and super cheap, and you could get things at a wild price. That's kind of where this piece is. But this is put together fairly well. There's no real dings or scratches anywhere. It's got a good coating nonetheless. We'll see how long it lasts, but it is put together fairly well. I believe it weighs roughly 200 pounds, and it does not have a big footprint. So for me, in my space here, I don't have too much space to work with. I'm starting to get crammed up here. And a lot of the pendulum squats, they have that counterbalance on the other side. This one, it just has some springs to counter the bottom of the position. So when you're at the lowest position, it could give you just a little assistance to get out of there. But honestly, from my testing from before and after the springs, I really don't feel that much. Maybe as I add weight, the springs kick on a little bit more, but I don't feel that much. So if you wanted to, you could kind of forego putting that on. It's got 3 different foot plate positions, so you could put it as high up as you need, as low as you need. You can kind of play around with it. For my taller people, I've been using it a little bit lower. However, today I just tested it with the foot plate a little higher for my client Sai, who's 6'2"-ish, which they say actually is the top limit for this piece of equipment. It worked well, so you just have to kind of get used to it and figure out where your positions are and just stick to that there. So now that I just mentioned it, let's get into the size of you if you are going to be using this, or some of your friends or clients or whoever is going to use this. The sizing guide that GMW gives is from 4'11" to 6'2". And so I'll tell you, I have someone who's 6'4", and I'll put that video in here right now. It's a little struggle to get him in and out of this thing. So we'll play around with it a little bit. He's 6'4", as I just mentioned, and it's a little tricky doing that. So if you're 6'4" or above, this might not be the piece for you. But if you're a normal size human being, this will be perfect for you. There's 2 different ways you can put it, a little higher and a little lower. So if you're someone who's a little shorter, you can put it on the lower position of the safety there. But so far, I have absolutely no regrets with this piece. Now, why did I decide to get this versus something like a leg press, hack squat combo? There's several different reasons. One is just the footprint in and of itself. As I mentioned, the leg press hack squat is a huge piece of machine. This is not that big, and it's a little bit more spacious. So even if it doesn't, or it takes up a very similar footprint, this is, I believe, some spot I saw 77 inches long, but I don't think it's that long. So the size of this piece is 66 inches long by about 44 inches wide. So it's really not a big piece, but it doesn't feel that big either because of how it's kind of spaced out. Leg press, hack squat kind of feels like it takes up more space. But more importantly than that, the biggest reason why I got this versus the others that I mentioned is that it does not take very much weight to get a good stimulus from this machine. I tried to put on 245s on each side, so 180 pounds total, and just trying to get it off felt heavy as hell. I didn't even try it, as you saw. And that's where some of the stability issues of this machine might come into play a little bit. But if you control the movement, if you're really working on hypertrophy for this isn't really made for a strength equipment, right? You're not doing sets of 3 or 5 with this. You're going to do sets anywhere from 6, 8, 10 and above for this, controlling the motion. So you don't need that much weight. Versus something like a leg press hack squat, you could load a shit ton of weight on there and you can keep pressing and keep pressing. And honestly, I didn't want to buy more plates to get to make myself feel nice and strong on that. So this will do perfectly. And this was the first time I even used a pendulum squat because of all the reviews that I saw online of just the pendulum squat in general, not specifically this brand, but just the type of equipment. Everyone that I saw said that this piece of equipment was the best leg builder, specifically quad builder, that there was on the market. So that was enough for me to pick it up. And I can't agree more. This feels super amazing, super smooth going down and up. No pain or issues on my knees or hips, and I have a torn labrum in my hip, and I do get issues in my knee from time to time, and so far I've had no issues at all with this. So I have no regrets at all with this at all, especially for the price point. Now, you could get this from several different spots. It runs anywhere from $815 up to $1,000+ depending on sales and things like that. But where I have found it to be the best price and best bang for your buck is actually through TikTok. You get so many discounts through TikTok, and many times the shop that I bought this from, they're having their own sales. So I believe I got this for $850 after tax, after shipping, everything like that. $850 shipped to my house. Now, I don't think you can get a better deal than that. So if you are interested, I did leave a link below to go to that TikTok shop and purchase. If you do purchase using my link, I do get a small affiliate commission that will help me continue to make these videos and put more content out there. But just to wrap things up, this piece of machine is incredible. I'm so happy I purchased it. We'll see how long it lasts. If it should last several years. I have no issues or concerns with that. And there are different warranties on everything. So final thoughts here, wrapping things up. I love it. Feels great. Feels comfortable. If you are someone who is not the strongest person in the world trying to load up shit tons of weight and you're not 6'4" and above, this will be the perfect machine for you. So with that being said, this has been Ryan. Go ahead, if you're interested, click that link below, give it a purchase, and I'll see you in the next one.